WWE was the first sports and entertainment company to publicly continue operations without an audience.
Yeah.
So
it's totally different. I mean, we not rely, but like when I'm out there performing, like I enjoy hearing people boo, people chanting "you suck," or just being involved. That's what WWE is all about. Like going to a live interaction. It's basically the entire audience is interacting. They're booing who they hate. They're cheering who they love. You know, they have their own chants. I mean, there's so many chants from "This is awesome" to "You deserve it" to when someone wins a title. You hear these "You deserve it" chants. It's quite amazing and it's powerful.
Yep.
So to go from one cut to the next, basically being a contrast of having zero audience, it's completely weird. But I enjoy different stuff, and I enjoy trying to use this type of unique atmosphere.
Yep.
Not necessarily to my advantage, but just to showcase exactly what I can do and why I'm so valuable to the WWE.
For sure. That's awesome. Because not a lot of people can perform without that adrenaline rush of having an audience. Because that's a different type of feeling.
You got to find a different way, I guess, to get the adrenaline and to utilize it. It reminds me almost like I've used it as like almost a Japanese crowd. Like when we go to Japan and we perform for a live audience, it is very, very quiet.
What?
But once you hear when there's a big move, they'll go, "Oh."
Mike, do you find it?
You don't get the big reaction of the "oh." It's just crickets every time. But you know that in the Japanese audience, they're watching and they're invested in everything you do. So in my mind, I'm just picturing the people at home being invested in everything that we're doing. So every little maneuver counts. So it's actually making me a better performer in the ring.
For sure. I feel like that's a lot easier said than done though. Like really not hearing the crowd and like being able to use that energy. Do you find yourself having to push harder when you're in there?
100%. I mean, there's no doubt that everybody in WWE is pushing harder when they're in the ring now. And I think it's going to translate whenever the time comes that we can have an audience back, because everything that I feel like we do in WWE that's different, that takes us out of the box, we utilize it and say, you know what did we learn from this and how can we use it when we're back to normal?
Right.
How have the fans reacted to it? I've only seen one clip so far. I saw Rob Gronkowski jump off of some sort of elevated platform and pin like 8 dudes to win WrestleMania 36. And the feeling of seeing him soaring through the air and absolutely no sound was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, but it was just amazing. How are the fans reacting to it?
I mean, if you've watched, WrestleMania was the most talked about, most watched on social media more than any other WrestleMania in history. So the fans are really getting involved with it, and it's allowing us to do different types of matches. Like if you saw the Firefly Funhouse with John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, it was one of the coolest matches I've ever seen. And I've seen it all, I felt like, but that was so different and so unique. And it utilized Bray Wyatt and The Fiend in such a way. And it showcased what exactly John Cena could do. And it showcased kind of what Cena was before and what he is now. And I think it opened up a whole new world of what WWE can do. And then you watch the Boneyard match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker, which was kind of the same, but way different. Like it was the same, and they used kind of a cinematic feel towards it, but man, it was so interesting to watch, and I just love that. And then if you watch our match, the John Morrison versus the Usos versus the New Day, I wasn't in it, but John basically took our titles and challenged I believe it was Jimmy Uso as well as Kofi Kingston for our tag team titles, and it was a ladder match, and it was entertaining. And let me tell you something, ladder matches hurt. Usually, the audience gets that whole kind of that feel, that adrenaline rush. When you don't have that adrenaline rush, it's a whole lot harder.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. It's probably so much harder to match that pain.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you were in one of your boxing matches and literally there was no audience.
No,
you're getting punched in the face.
Yeah, no, something about the crowd and the lights and everyone watching you. You can take a bit more than you could when it's silent.